2000, it was Keane. Top of the class in A6 was Craig Trott, and Costa Kamantarakis got the nod in N2. The Toyota Dealer Rally was the second of 8 rounds of the Sasol SA Rally Championship. The rally is set against the stunning scenery of the Western Cape, and it's not only the action that's wild. Eleven stages take the teams to Stellenbosch, Grabo, Cape Town and the Caledon district, covering 204 kilometers over the 2 days, ranging in length from 2.2 kilometers to 30, and will test man and machine to the limit in the hot and dusty conditions. 50 teams gathered at Imperial Motors in Brackenfell to make their last-minute settings. Rallying is split into 2 categories, the A-class cars for modified machinery and the production-based N-class for near-standard cars. Enzo Keane won the opening round in Natal 3 weeks ago, followed by Hergen Fecken, who made his debut in the Premier S2000 class. JP Damso took the honours in Class A7, while Nicholas Ryan won Class N4 and the production. KZN was in Class A5, where Michael Houghton beat his nemesis by just 1 second.
Because we got a puncture in the last stage, and we thought, no, that was it, chances were gone and stuff. But we managed to push hard on the flat and destroyed the bumper and a few other things, but we got the win, so we chuffed. I wouldn't like it over again, but if it has to be, it has to be.
Navigator Douglas Judd pushing a car is not exactly a good sign.
We've got a problem with the clutch fluid. It looks like we've got a seal leaking on the slave cylinder, so all the fluid's leaking out. And it looks like we're going to start the rally without a clutch and see if we can get to like a major service park where we've got enough time to do the repairs. So yeah, at this stage it's a very dicey, very risky start for us, and I think we'll just go out there and do the best we can. The real issue is the start of the stages, you know, to get the car moving. Once the car is moving, then we can change the gears without the clutch. That's not a problem. And then of course you've got to be very careful in the stages not to have a spin or an overshoot where you have to reverse and get yourself into a very compromising tight position where you can't turn around. So, yeah, we'll keep that in mind.
And what can be expected of the hometown hero?
We didn't have a very good one in Durban, which is hope we can change it on this event, and especially the Toyota Dealer Rally.
The notorious Hellsworth stage is a tough one to start off with, and Serge realizes that well.
Yeah, it is a hard stage for, and difficult, very difficult and hard stage for us, you know, for the first stage in the day.
Always a man of few words. And it was all cautious optimism from the championship leader, Enzo Keane.
Good memories about the two-wheel drive cars. It's a whole new ball game this year with a four-wheel drive. Very different driving style, and tyre wear less of an issue. So, you know, we're a bit more relaxed, but a lot more focus on your lines and your braking points, and, you know, really placing the car on the road. Because these cars are really underpowered compared to the last year's cars, we need to drive very neat and really be methodical about your technique, you know, really think about what you're going to do. But yes, we're coming to the event with a bit of a championship lead. I think more of a cautious approach this time.
Hellsworth is also known as Valley. What did Enzo think of it?
I think the first stage will be very rough and tight. Maybe not that rough, but very tight first, second gear stuff. We know that stage from previously. in the previous years. It's not one of the best stages in the calendar. In fact, probably one of the worst, and the organizer running it twice this year, which baffles my mind. But the forest after that in Grabouw is nice. I think after many years we're going back there, and it's great to be in those forests. It could be quite rocky in places.
And indeed it is. On a hillside high above Stellenbosch lies the forested Hellsworth Pass. 16 kilometers of narrow, twisty and rough roads. Big drops off the mountain are an ever-present threat. Spectators turn up in droves to experience action as hot as the ambient temperature. Keen blasts his polo off the line and rockets to a stage time he hopes no one can beat. And was Damso pushing too hard? Yes, he was. Watch the clock to see if that spin hurt Surge's chance of beating Enzo Keen. And no, it didn't. He takes a 6-second lead. With a quick fuel stop before the long trek out to Grabouw, Serge tells us about stage 1.
So we had a good stage, the first one, I must say. We had quite a clean stage. We caught Yanni towards the end in the dust, and that held us a bit. But anyway, that's the way it goes.
Indeed, Hergen Fecken is one of the most spectacular drivers in the country, and you can see why as he put his new S2000 Polo through its paces. How will he shape up against Keen? Underwhelmed by his more seasoned teammate, he's knocked him down into 3rd place. Compare the first 2 polos to that of champions Habich and Judd. Listen carefully, they're hemorrhaging time. The perennially unlucky Etienne Lawrence at least made it into stage 1 this time. And watch and listen as the bulky N4 cars battle the twisties high in the hills. A real assault on the senses. Barry Grobler and the Sasol Volkswagen Golf were quickly into the swing of things. John and Douglas Williams were settling into their office for a hot afternoon's work in their A7 VW Polo. JP Damso was also quickly up to speed. He had to be because another Toyota was breathing down his neck. But try as he might, Charles Wilkin couldn't match JP's pace, dropping an eternity in the first stage. Williams was more comfortable on home soil and in dry conditions in only his 2nd outing in the new car.
The whole year is going to be a big test for me, still young, still got a lot to learn, so, just going to pick my pace up rally by rally. First time out, tricky conditions, but enjoyed the car, enjoying it in the dry. Every time I put my foot down in this thing, I just got a huge smile on my face, so the first stage went really well. We just, got a nice rhythm, and we had a good pace. We're only, I think, 10 seconds slower than JP and 3 slower than Wilkins, so, we're getting there.
Doug Williams explained the differences between their 05 and 06 cars.
We're only starting to rally now, with the car like that where you've got close pressure gearbox, sequential, you try to left foot brake. Car is nearly 30 or 40% more powerful than the N3 car. So everything comes to you at so much quicker pace, So, yeah, as I say, it's learning to drive all over again.
And young John is clearly learning quickly. Smoking is a health risk for humans, but devastating for nature. In spite of rumors of a car rolling and setting fire to the forest, the fire had nothing to do with the rally. It was a stark reminder of just how desperately the Western Cape needs good rains. The rally was stopped and the crews not yet through the stage were all given a nominal time and sent packing to stage 2. A 50-kilometer open section over Sir Lowry's Pass took the action to Grabouw. The first stage was 25 kilometers of hard surface and very dusty road through a tinder dry forest. After a quick service, it was lights, camera, action. And a wilder kind of spectator waiting for hairy action. Car wars in the biggest class ranged between the flamboyant Fernando Rueda's Mitsubishi Lancer, now in Team Total colours, against the production car champion Johnny Gemmel's earlier Lancer Evo 7, ironically bought from Rueda. Johnny had a serious misfire in stage 1 and dropped nearly a minute. Nicholas Ryan's Bosel Subaru and Fisher du Plessis' new pro-drive built Subaru were all in the mix as well. Rueda's brother-in-law Paul Pfeiffer was flying in his Evo 6 Mitsubishi, notwithstanding those logs. Sali de Toy and Yapi van Niekerk were at it hammer and tongs, and something was bound to give. The top 6 N4 runners were separated from each other by mere seconds, but it was Rueda setting a cracking pace. Johnny was 10 seconds slower than Rueda, falling further behind. The surprise is Paul Pfeiffer's performance only 7 seconds off the lead. And Toyota rules, okay? Smooth and deceptively quick versus breathtakingly spectacular. Damso versus Vecken. Hergen is quicker by 6 seconds, clearly not intimidated by any of his peers. And there was no time for Keenan Hodgson to take in the scenery. There was a young upstart who needed putting in his place. Let's do some clock watching to see who wins the Interpolo Stage 2 war. It's skiing by 8 ticks and he took the overall lead away from Damso. 20 minutes of rest and time to catch up with the new leader.
Our cars have gone a little bit faster this event with the new engine, the new 16-valve engine. It's got a lot more torque and easier out of the corners. And I can see that Serge has also found some power. He's definitely taken the step with us, and we had a full go now, so we just managed to clinch the stage.
Oils well that ends well for Enzo, in other words. But not so for Jan Habig. His miserable season continued unabated, and he was clutching at straws in the hope of a quick cure. Etienne was doing damn fine. Stage 3 of the Toyota Dealer Rally